because I am. And today I have this glass of seashells, and we shall take a look. It's covered by this little cork. And if you've been watching my videos, then you will know that I am a big fan of cork sounds. So, I really love seashells. I don't get to see them a whole lot on the beach because I don't really go to the beach a lot. But it's always a pleasure. I feel like they smell salty, which would make sense. But I don't know. So we have these kind of seashells. I'm terribly sorry that I have no idea what these are called, or like what type of seashell they are. Then we have a smaller version. I know a beach in Turkey where I find a lot of these. They have like a smoother surface on the top. Very smooth in comparison to these rigid ones. nice to remember. I remember going to the beach in Turkey. It wasn't really a crazy nice beach, but it was close to the house, my grandma's house. And so it would be nice to go down there and go for a walk. If you've ever gone for a walk on a beach, you know that it's not as easy to walk in sand, especially not if you're walking wherever the ocean, like wherever the waves make contact with the beach, because the sand gets wet and you just sink into the sand. And so it's honestly a bit of a workout at times. But early in the morning is probably the best time to go for a beach walk, because of the colors and the sun, of course. With that being said, I don't think I've ever gone for a beach walk early in the morning. Mainly because I'm not a big morning person. Well, I guess if you're not going for a walk early in the morning, then you could go at sunset. But just like breathing the air of like the salty ocean, it just like does something to your body, I feel like. My mom used to say that it's good if you're sick to breathe the beach air. I definitely would love to be closer to the beach, because I love swimming in the ocean a lot more than in any pool. I'd much prefer the water to be salty than have a bunch of chlorine. But it's also just like nicer because, you know, you're swimming in the ocean and there's just like no end. Like you're swimming out and there's no end. All you can see is the ocean all the way to the horizon. Obviously, it's equally as scary, especially if you get like freaked out or you lose your breath or something happens. Something tickles your butt. Actually, I do have, and I think this is, thankfully, my only near-death experience, which was also in Turkey. And while I was swimming in the ocean, and so I think I was around 12 or 13, and we had found this beautiful ocean, had a very pretty beach, and there's like a cafe a little bit further away, and a huge cliff that kind of like enclosed the beach. And so we were just swimming. It was my first time. It wasn't my first time swimming there. And I was just enjoying myself. Enjoying the nice water. And then, at some time, like, these huge waves started to appear. And I don't know if it was like because of a boat or like the time of day or something, but all I knew that I was like swimming. I think I had a pair of goggles, and I was a pretty decent swimmer. I had a silver. There's like swimming marks that you can like do in Germany, and there's Seepferdchen, which is like seahorse translated, but it's like the lowest rank. Bronze, silver, gold, and then like lifeguard certified. And I ended up getting silver. My dad always wanted me to push for gold, but I was like, I ain't doing that, bro. Like, I just was not motivated at all when it came to sports back then. It's changed a little, but you know, I was a pretty decent swimmer, and I'd also go to swim with my dad, or in my class we used to have swimming class. But all of a sudden these like huge waves appeared, and it got like really difficult to get closer to the shore. And at first I wasn't worried or anything because it didn't really get to me that I was in danger. I was just swimming. But then like this giant wave came and like just wrecked me, and I was like inside of the wave, and I felt like I was swimming inside of the wave, and I couldn't really like exit it because it just had so much force. And so I was like trying to stick my head out of the water to get some form of air, at least for like a split second. but I couldn't really do it. Well, after the wave had ended, I was like, oh my god. And I was going to get some air, but then, like, the second wave hit me. And that's where, like, my adrenaline was rushing through my body. And I, like, realized that this could be, like, serious trouble. And so, I don't quite remember what happened, but I might have lost myself for like a split second. All I remember is like, I think it was some kind of meme from Spider-Man where there's like this music and he's like, so you probably wonder how I ended up here. And that like scene and the music were like playing inside of my head. And it was like me viewing myself, like my human body, from like the third person perspective. So kind of like an out of body experience also. But it was like for a nanosecond. And then right after the wave ended, I came back to myself and I was like, holy, like I almost lost it there. But then I came back and of course I had a lot of water. Like just built up inside of my like nose and mouth. And so thankfully I survived that, but it could have ended a lot worse. And I was lucky to escape. But even though that happened, I don't really have a lot of fear. Fear of the ocean. Actually, the complete opposite. Like, I don't even remember this near-death experience. Like, really, as something horrible, or like traumatic, because I still feel like the ocean is like something wonderful, and I still to this day love swimming in the ocean. It's just that you gotta be careful and not drown, because there is a lot of water, and if that water builds up a force that is greater than you, then you ought to be careful. And that is also why a lot of beaches put up like flags and warning signals that you should definitely listen to, because otherwise you're just gonna get wrecked. I used to underestimate the force of water greatly. But trust me now, I do know that water is probably one of the that was terribly loud. Water is quite strong, and especially a lot of water. I mean, if imagine having like a gallon of water dropped on your head. Like, you would probably die. So, yeah. I mean, like in a stream, or usually we don't really have a lot of water for no particular reason, but it's because like the humans have learned to control the water, and so we're usually not around very large amounts or bodies of water, except for like oceans and swimming pools. But like in Japan and stuff like that, there'd be like these crazy tsunamis, and they literally just wreck like entire cities, or floods as well. So you really gotta watch out when there's large volumes of water. Nevertheless, though, like without water, there'd be no form of life, so it's a double-edged sword. It can either create or destroy, which makes it so powerful. I mean, the same really goes with any element, like fire, wind, or earth. Definitely write down in the comments what your favorite element is. I think my favorite element is wind, just because I was having this talk with one of my friends while we were watching Avatar, and we were just like, I mean, like, wind, you could just like, the movement and like the agility and the utility is pretty cool. But other than that, I do like water a lot too. I'm not a big fire or earth person. I don't really see like what you could do. I think I'm blind to the potential of earth. But I mean, you could do like cool pillars and like terraform stuff. I just don't think it would be as useful as wind. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, watch this video as well. And let me know in the comments what you thought. I was gonna say, let me know your thoughts, but anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, as always. Thank you for joining me, and I will see